Okay, so today I'm making a smoothie here, and I just have a few clients that wanted to know what I put in my smoothies, and I know that I do take a lot of pictures, but they specifically wanted to know the ratios. And you know, I kind of wing a lot of things. This piece of broccoli here, I'm just going to cut off the stem. I do put broccoli in it, but if you are putting cruciferous vegetables like broccoli or cauliflower or cabbage or anything, you want to use not a whole lot, not that, just this, because it can make you a little gassy depending on your sensitivities. I always use, always use a lot of celery, because the celery is a natural source of sodium, and I don't mean salt, I mean like a lymphatic sodium. Celery is amazing for arthritis, any kind of arthritis conditions. Alkalizing like celery is your #1 friend. My husband can tell if I don't put celery in the smoothie. He can tell because he'll flare up right away. I am going to put some cucumber. We're just in April, so this isn't really organic, but I figured the benefits outweigh the, you know, the not having cucumber, because there are benefits to cucumber, and I'm just going to pray and send healing energy and positive energy into this lovely cucumber, because we can do that. We can change the vibration of foods by putting our thought forms in it. So this lovely cucumber is going to have all the health benefits that a cucumber should have. We know that from Dr. Emoto, who, I can't remember the name of his book, but anyways, it's about putting the positive vibration into the water and freezing it, and it turns into snowflakes. If it's positive, it turns into not a snowflake and not anything pretty when you put bad energy into the water. Okay, carrots, always a good thing. My organic carrots, I always wash everything before I put them in the fridge, and I don't peel them if they're organic, and these are organic. Just a little bit of the broccoli. You can use the stem, like the longer part of the stem. I do usually peel off the peeling because it's, I don't know, it's really thick usually and kind of hard on the blender. I am going to add a little bit of, like I said, not too much cruciferous, but a little bit of cabbage, because the red cabbage especially is like as good as goji berries. Oh, it's amazing stuff. When I add vegetables, a lot of vegetables, whatever you have in the fridge. Right now I don't happen to have any spinach or kale. Normally I'd be adding spinach and kale, yeah, any of the dark leafy greens, and so what I wanted to say was, you're going to want mostly greens and vegetables. One piece of fruit. Like if you're going to add a banana, which depending on what you're working on, if you're working with candida, you don't want a banana. It's too sweet. You can add 1 apple, which depending on the apple, right? Some are sweeter than others. You can add an apple. The preference really is 1 piece of fruit or 1 palm full of fruit per blender full of vegetables. And in this case, I have some really beautiful blueberries that are organic from a friend of mine, Kathy at Avalon Farm. And so I'm going to add these blueberries, and because I have a lot of, depends on what you want, right? Or what you want and how sweet you want it. We don't like it too sweet, but I'm thinking for the average person, they want some flavor. So in this case, I would add like that many berries, because these berries are organic, but they're not super sweet. And I am going to add this banana because I don't have a candida problem, and I think if you're starting out, you're going to want it to taste good, because if you don't, or if it doesn't, you won't want to drink it. And whatever it takes to get the goodness down is the trick. Okay, so you can also use these If you want some protein powder, I often don't. I don't worry about protein. You know, they're coming along with a lot of the research that you really don't need protein like people say you do. If you want to add a protein powder, you can. This is just one I picked up. I switch from brand to brand because each one is different and has different things. I actually prefer to add a greens powder along with this. This is a mixture that I mix together, and it has moringa, it has maca, it has ashwagandha, astragalus, ginseng. I am going to add a little bit of turmeric, which is always a good thing. And I know the turmeric works better with a little bit of pepper, and you don't really notice the pepper, so I will add that. This is a little bit of hemp hearts. So this is an alternative to your protein powder. The hemp hearts have protein, so you can, and normally I'd add more than that, but I'm out of them a bit. So you can add more protein if you want. This is one of my favorite products. There's several favorite products, but this one here, pretty standard, not a bad price, and it's a green powder. So if you don't mind your smoothie turning out green or brown, which it often does because of the vegetables, you can put a couple scoops of this in, which has a lot in it. Okay, what did I forget? The pepper. The black pepper really helps to facilitate the absorption of the turmeric. My pepper ran away. Doesn't take much. And then if you want to have it creamy, you can use a coconut milk or an almond milk. Do not put yogurt in your smoothie. I know it tastes really yummy, but unless you have a truly organic, naturally cultured yogurt with no sugar, no additives, no nothing in it, adding yogurt, to me, defeats the purpose of the smoothie. And definitely no cream. So for the sake of making it creamy, what you can do is you can use an almond or a coconut milk. This one's both. I know there's also controversy on the almond situation. So you can use coconut milk, rice milk. They have hemp milk, all kinds of milks. I'm actually going to add water to this first because most of the time I just use water. And this is an ancient Vitamix, so the lid doesn't really fit anymore, and I can't kill it, so I can't buy a new one because it's like 15 years old. It has a high-low speed of, that's it, of shoot to the ceiling or nothing. And so look out, here we go. Maybe I'll put a cloth over it because it's so old I can't find the lid. And I can't find the plunger either, it's too old. Okay, here we go. Okay, so easy peasy. Got a glass here. So it's going to look like I could add more water to make it thinner. Or you could blend it. See, it's really crunchy there. So I kind of didn't want to blend too long because I don't want to bore you guys half to death with me blending. But I will blend it more to make it smoother. What was I going to say? Oh, and I'll show you what it looks like with the coconut milk. You can add that too. So throw that on again. Oh, you can see the towel got wet. Okay, here we go. This Vitamix does have two speeds, high and lower, but both are pretty high. Okay, so here we are back. I don't know if you could see how crunchy it was in the glass before. A little bit smoother here. I'm not sure if you can see this. see. And yeah, so that's the smoothie. And basically all the vegetables you want in it, fill it up with vegetables, add 1 piece of fruit, and what was the other thing? Oh yeah, if you're adding cruciferous vegetables such as cauliflower, broccoli, but Brussels sprouts, cabbage, just add a little bit. Don't add a whole lot to it. And there's other different ways, but this is what's on my mind right now. And just a basic smoothie recipe, because people have been asking me how to make it without yogurt and how to, you know, they're used to doing a bunch of fruit, and I don't. Oh, if you want it sweeter, that's what I was trying to remember. If you want it sweeter, you can just add more carrots, because the carrots will really sweeten it up. Or green apples will help too, but again, not more than 1. If you aren't on a sugar restriction diet, you could add a couple once in a while for flavor. But the other thing is, this stuff is pretty sweet too, like a naturally sweetened. So that's a sweetener too, without adding too much fruit. Okay, that's it. For more information, go to georginassear.com.